Imagine that inside your mind there is a force so powerful that it could influence your success, your relationships, your confidence, your habits, and even the opportunities you notice every day. Now imagine that most people go through life without ever learning how to use it. What if the biggest thing holding you back isn't your circumstances, your education, or your luck, but the thoughts you've been repeating to yourself for years? That's the central idea behind one of the most influential self-development books ever written, The Power of the Subconscious Mind. Since its publication in 1963, the book has sold millions of copies around the world and has influenced countless authors, entrepreneurs, athletes, and everyday people. But does it actually work? And can someone benefit from its teachings, even if they don't share the author's spiritual beliefs? Today, we're diving into the key lessons from this classic book, who wrote it, what the subconscious mind really is, and how you can apply these ideas in practical, modern, and even completely secular way. Let's get started. Before we discuss the book, it's worth understanding the man behind it. Joseph Murphy was an Irish-born author and minister who became one of the leading voices in the New Thought movement. He studied religion, philosophy, psychology, and various spiritual traditions throughout his life. His work combined spiritual concepts with ideas from psychology and personal development. Murphy believed that the subconscious mind serves as a bridge between our conscious thoughts and the outcomes we experience in life. His teachings often included references to God, prayer, faith, and spiritual laws. For many readers, these spiritual elements are an important part of the book. However, what's interesting is that many secular readers have also found value in Murphy's ideas, not because they accept every spiritual claim, but because many of his principles overlap with modern psychology, habit formation, self-talk, visualization, and the power of belief. So rather you're religious, spiritual, agnostic, or completely secular, there's still a lot to learn from this book. Murphy's central argument is simple. Your subconscious mind accepts what your conscious mind repeatedly believes. According to him, your thoughts are like seeds. Whatever you repeatedly plant in your subconscious eventually grows into your behavior, your expectations, and ultimately, your experiences. Think about it. If someone constantly tells himself, "I'm not good enough, I will always fail, nothing ever works out for me," eventually those beliefs begin influencing their actions. They hesitate, they avoid opportunities, they give up too quickly, and their results start matching their expectations. On the other hand, someone who genuinely believes, "I can improve, I'll find a way, I can learn this," is more likely to persist through challenges and take actions that create better outcomes. Murphy believed the subconscious mind is always listening, whether you're programming it intentionally or accidentally. One of the strongest messages in the book is that the conversations you have with yourself matter. Most people would never speak to a friend the way they speak to themselves. Yet every day people repeat things like, "I'm terrible at this, I'm unlucky, I'm not attractive, I'm too old, I'm too late." Murphy argues that repeated thoughts become subconscious beliefs. Modern psychology offers a similar perspective. Research on self-talk suggests that our internal dialogue can influence motivation, confidence, stress levels, and performance. This doesn't mean positive thinking magically changes reality, but it can change how you respond to reality. And those responses often change outcomes. A practical takeaway: pay attention to your internal language. Replace absolute negative statements with constructive ones. Instead of, "I can't do this," try, "I haven't figured this out yet." That small shift can have a surprisingly powerful effect over time. Another major theme in the book is visualization. Murphy encourages readers to imagine their desired outcomes vividly and repeatedly. At first glance, this may sound mystical, but there's a practical side to it. Many elite athletes mentally rehearse performances before competitions. Musicians mentally practice difficult pieces. Public speakers visualize successful presentations. Visualization helps create familiarity. It reduces anxiety and increases confidence. Your brain becomes more prepared for situations it has already imagined. The key is that the visualization should complement the action, not replace it. You can't simply visualize becoming fit while never exercising, but visualization combined with consistent effort can improve focus and performance. Murphy repeatedly emphasizes the power of belief, not blind belief, but deeply held assumptions about what is possible. Think about two people facing the same challenge. One believes, "I'll eventually figure this out." The other believes, "This is impossible." Who is more likely to keep trying? Who is more likely to learn the new skills? Who is more likely to spot opportunities? Beliefs often become self-fulfilling because they shape behavior. Modern psychology calls this expectancy effects. What we expect often influences how we act. Murphy's message is that changing your life often begins by changing the assumptions you've accepted about yourself. Sometimes the biggest obstacle isn't reality, it's the story you've been telling yourself about reality. Murphy believed repetition is the language of the subconscious mind. The thoughts you repeat become familiar, the familiar becomes believable, and the believable starts guiding behavior automatically. Whether you're building confidence, learning a skill, or creating healthier routines, consistency matters more than intensity. A positive affirmation repeated once won't change your life, but daily repetition of healthier beliefs combined with action can gradually reshape how you think and behave. The subconscious mind is less like a magic genie and more like a learning system. It adapts to what you repeatedly feed it. Now let's address an important question. What if you're not religious? Can this book still be useful? Absolutely. You don't have to accept every spiritual claim in the book to benefit from its core ideas. A secular reader might interpret Murphy's teachings like this. Prayer becomes focused reflection. Faith becomes confidence and expectation. Subconscious programming becomes habit formation. Mental images become visualization. Affirmations become intentional self-talk. Instead of viewing these concepts as supernatural forces, they can be understood through psychology, neuroscience, behavioral science, and human performance. In other words, even if you remove the spiritual framework, many of the practical lessons remain valuable. Your thoughts influence your emotions influence your actions influence your results. That's a chain most people can agree on, regardless of worldview. So, what's the biggest lesson from the power of the subconscious mind? It's this. Your mind is always being programmed. The only question is whether you're doing it consciously or unconsciously. Joseph Murphy believed that what you repeatedly think, imagine, and believe eventually shapes the direction of your life. Whether you view that through a spiritual lens, a psychological lens, or somewhere in between, the message remains powerful. Pay attention to your self-talk. Choose empowering beliefs, visualize success, take consistent action, and remember, the thoughts you repeat today may become the reality you live tomorrow. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments which book you'd like to summarize next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.